I, 28, think my girlfriend, 26, has been using my gym socks to wipe after going to the bathroom. I don't even know where to start with this. I'm dumbfounded. She just stormed out of the house and I'm sitting on the bed asking myself a lot of questions. I live a pretty normal life and I thought so did my girlfriend. We've been together for a few months, and after things got serious, we moved in together. We started sharing a lot of household responsibilities, but the one thing she was adamant on doing was the laundry. She would come home and find me in the bedroom getting the laundry together and would quickly ask me to go do something else. I'd come back to finish the laundry, and she would have already started it. I always thought that it was sweet and never her job to do it alone. But hey, if it makes her happy to do it all the time, I wouldn't stop her. This is where it takes a turn for the weird. I keep all of my socks and underwear in the bottom drawer of my dresser. I also go to the gym frequently, so I always keep a good supply of clean socks ready to go. I never kept count, but I know just by a visual glance that I have several pairs. This morning, when I went to grab a fresh pair for the gym, I noticed that there were several dress socks but no gym socks. Again, not weird, they must have been in the laundry. I went to check the laundry basket and it was empty. So I checked the washing machine and dryer, both were empty. I couldn't figure out where all of my gym socks had gone. So I did the very natural thing of asking my girlfriend what had happened to them. After all, she is the one who does the laundry all the time. She went silent, turned red, and ran out of the room. When I went after her to see if she was okay, she wouldn't talk to me. I told her I wasn't mad, I was just looking for my socks. She kind of mumbled, I don't know. I still wasn't mad, of course, but I was super confused. Socks just don't disappear. So I asked her again, even laughed about it, and she looked at me and got mad and said, I'll buy you new ones. The first thought that went through my head was she had somehow managed to destroy my socks while washing them. I thought the side of that was actually pretty funny, so I joked with her about ruining my socks. Wrong thing to say. She immediately started crying, like full on sobbing. At this point, I don't care about the socks anymore. I want to know what's wrong with my girlfriend. I sat down next to her on the bed and put my arm around her and asked her if she was okay. She just kept saying she was sorry and that she would buy me new socks. I tried assuring her again that it was okay, even went as far as to say that I would buy new socks so she didn't have to. I sat with her for a few minutes trying to calm her down and eventually had to get ready for work. I told her I loved her and got my things together to leave for the day. On my way out, I grabbed the garbage to take outside. When I got outside, I lifted the lid of the garbage can and I noticed a small plastic bag sitting on top of the garbage already in there. I could see through the bag and there were socks in there. Since I was sure she somehow managed to ruin the socks washing them, I wanted to see for myself. There, inside the bag, were several pairs of my gym socks covered in what looked like poop. As soon as the smell hit, I knew it was poop. 1, we don't own any pets. 2, we don't have any kids. 3, whose poop was on my socks? Word could wait. I couldn't go the rest of the day wondering why my gym socks were covered in poop and inside a plastic bag in the garbage can. I grabbed the bag and walked back inside. As soon as my girlfriend saw the bag, she flipped out and started yelling at me. She said I shouldn't be going through the garbage and that I was disgusting for bringing it back into the house. I asked her to calm down and that I just wanted an answer as to why there was poop on my socks. I wasn't blaming her of anything, but she started accusing me of blaming her. That's when it clicked. I don't know what it was that had led me to ask this, but everything leading up to this moment had just been so crazy. I asked her, is this your poop? She started sobbing again and ran out of the house. I didn't go after her this time. So now I'm sitting on my bed with a bag of poopy socks on the floor and a lot of questions in my head. The only conclusion is that she used them after going to the bathroom, which that alone has its own set of questions above everything else. I sent her a text asking her to come back and she hasn't responded yet. I don't even know what I'm going to say if she comes back. Update. She said she didn't want to talk about it in person and that we could discuss it over texting and not bring it up in person. I'm considering the conversation and filling in some gaps as best as I can. Her response are super short, but I'm getting the idea. I flat out asked her if it was a fetish. It is not a fetish. She confessed to using the socks after going to the bathroom. I found the reason she always does the laundry is because she was hiding the fact that she uses the socks to wipe with. Primarily her own. I had no reason to question the amount of socks she ever has because who pays attention to that kind of thing? She thought I would notice and think it was weird since she doesn't own many socks. She admitted she has done this for a long time. Her reasoning, as best as I can understand, is that because she is a germaphobe, her word, and she is afraid that toilet paper will tear and is afraid of getting her hands messy in any way. She uses socks because it covers her entire hand. After she's done with them, she throws them away. She used mine because she didn't have any other socks. So my girlfriend has a fear of getting poop on her hands, so she wipes with socks. And has done so for a long time. It could be worse, I guess. I just hope we can laugh about this later. I'm trying to find the humor in it now, but I'm still weirded out.
Story time about how I dumped my girlfriend when I found out she had cancer. Am I the bad guy? My girlfriend and I have dated for almost 7 years. In that time, she always wanted to get married, but I never really felt married, so I never proposed. 2 years ago, I started feeling ready and I decided to buy a ring. But unfortunately, she was diagnosed with cancer. She ended up having to stay in the hospital for a few months and underwent a bunch of therapy. All the treatments and everything were making her lose her hair, and I pretty much became totally unattracted to her. I know this sounds so harsh, but it's the truth. I struggled every single day as I fell out of love with her. When I talked to my mom about this, she told me to just have patience and to stick it out. But I just could not do it. I also didn't want to deal with having to take her to the hospital and helping her with the medication and helping her with the treatments. I wanted my own life. And suddenly I found myself having to drive her everywhere, feed her, clothe her, basically do everything for her. After a while, I asked her mom to move in with us to help me out. And this is when stuff started getting really bad. Her mom was basically taking care of her 24/7, so I pretty much did whatever I wanted. I would go out with my friends, and I even started dating other girls. Here's the thing. My girlfriend and her family have a lot of money, so I basically didn't have to work at all while I was with her. Her parents paid for our rent and pretty much everything we ever did, so I couldn't really break up with her. Part 2 is up. Story time about how I dumped my girlfriend when she got cancer. Am I the bad guy? My girlfriend's parents paid for our rent and pretty much everything we did. And of course at the time I didn't really want to get a job. So I really only stayed in the relationship for the money. Like I said in part 1, my girlfriend's mom moved in with us to help me take care of her. But I pretty much took advantage and decided to start dating other people. I downloaded every dating app I could think of, and I would go on dates every single day. I lied to my girlfriend and her mom and told them that I got a new job. This way I could pretty much stay out all day. So I found myself with all of this new freedom. Would go on dates and pay for everything with my girlfriend's money. I know you guys probably hate me right now, but it gets worse. After a few weeks, I ended up with 2 new girlfriends. So in total, I had 3 girlfriends, and I got really good at lying to each one and spending time with them. I'd see one of them every single morning and I would tell her that I was going to go to work. But then I would really go to the other girlfriend's house and spend the afternoon with her, and then I would end up going back to my apartment where my original girlfriend lived, and I would spend the rest of the night with her. At this point, she was starting to feel better with all the treatments, but I was just not attracted to her anymore. Part 3 is up. Story time about how I dumped my girlfriend when she got cancer. So at this point I had 3 girlfriends at the same time, and I was getting really good at lying to them. But since I really didn't have a job and I only used my girlfriend's money to survive, I needed to stay with her. I just didn't find myself attracted to her at all anymore. So I decided to be honest with her and I told her that I wasn't attracted to her, just to see how she would react. She didn't even get mad, she just started to cry and beg me not to leave her. That's when she told me that she didn't want to be alone. But at that point I just couldn't do it anymore. I was falling in love with my other girlfriends. Here's what I did. I went to my other 2 girlfriends and told them a new story. I told them that I got fired from my new job and that I needed a place to move in. I also told them that I wouldn't be able to afford rent. One of them basically kicked me out of her apartment, but the other one told me that I could stay with her for as long as I wanted to without having to pay for rent. So that's the girl that I went with. Then I went to my OG girlfriend's house and I told her that I just couldn't be with her anymore and that I had fallen for someone else. This broke her heart. They took all my credit cards and cut me out of her account. So I'm broke as hell right now, but at least I'm happier. Eventually I'm gonna have to get an actual job, so I'm still trying to figure that out. But my current girlfriend is paying for everything. And my ex is in remission now, which actually does make me happy for her. I'm about to get murdered in the comments, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
My husband's in love with an online scammer who he believes is going to marry him. My husband and I are newlyweds, both 21. We're from Ukraine, where it's pretty common to marry at the ages between 18 and 21. We just got married in January. However, in March, my husband said that he wants to take a break from living together because he's depressed and wants some time alone. He said that we both wouldn't date other people and that it would be absolutely disrespectful and wrong if we see other people because he just needs time to feel better. I told him that I agree, and if anything changes and he decides to date others, immediately let me know so that we can divorce because I'm not okay with extramarital stuff. He said yes, he would let me know, but he's not interested. Well, I just found out that he started the break on March 28th and then registered for a dating site on the same day. On April 1st, a girl had already messaged him and they've been talking every day and are in a relationship. I even asked him 2 weeks ago that if he had a girlfriend, I wouldn't be mad, but to tell me the truth so we can divorce. Because he stopped texting me or answering the phone, but he lied. I only found out yesterday because he said that we need to divorce immediately because he's marrying someone else. However, I don't think she is who she says she is. He says that she told him she's 18, working in Poland, but Ukrainian, and will come to Ukraine to be with him, and they'll marry and be together forever because she's perfect. He would never hurt her. Why would someone in Poland look for someone in Ukraine without even being here physically? Why would she go into a war zone? The biggest thing is that he's never heard her voice and she won't send a picture or talk on the video call with him. I'm pretty sure it's a 47-year-old Ukrainian man living in a basement. What hurts the most is that he asked for a break on March 28th and then replaced me immediately like it was nothing. He calls her the exact same nickname he called me from all the nicknames he could have chosen. He writes her the exact same words that he wrote me when I met him online and we were dating. He showed the messages he sent her. He lied since April and only now told me. It's like I'm completely replaceable. What should I do with my husband being in love with an online scammer that he believes is going to marry him?